What's going on, everybody? My name is Teo, and welcome back to this channel. I know, and I'm holding this against myself, obviously. I said I was going to upload every week or whatever, however consistently I wanted to do it. But I had a bit of an abrupt change in my life the last couple weeks. And it's probably, titled like this, but I'm sure the title is going to be something like Impending Death versus, sudden death or some along the line. So about 2 weeks ago, my dog, who I've had since I was like 11, or so, she wasn't feeling too good. She wasn't feeling great. She wasn't eating much, and took her to the vet. Turns out she had cancer on her liver, which is when I heard that I started crying. I started bawling. I've had this dog forever, and all of a sudden, the writing was on the wall. But I heard from people like, "Oh, my dog lived years after telling you he had cancer, or I lived a few months." So like in my head, I was like, "Hopefully, we can get a few months out of her, maybe." And week one, she was slowly starting to eat more and more, and we started to stop giving her dog food. She's giving her whole cooked chicken every night, and stuff like that. And she started to look a little better. She had a little bit more pep in her step, and I was like, all right, maybe she can stick around for a couple more months, because in my head I knew the clock was on the writing was on the wall, clock was ticking on her. But then all of a sudden, the last like 4 days, she wasn't moving really much. She was sitting on her chair every day. She was having a hard time walking around. I won't get into too much detail, but ultimately we made the decision to put her down. And out of selflessness, we put her down because, listen, if I had to have everyone, if I had to have someone carry me to my food bowl every day and help me stand up, and that's not a life I want to live. And I know she was probably going to be in pain soon, and the writing was on the wall. I'm going to miss her a lot, and I really do miss her a lot right now. And I carried her all the way to the vet and carried her all the way to the table where she was in her last place of rest. So trying to not sulk on that too long. Even in that moment when we finally, put her down, I was sad. But I think I had mourned about the loss of her for 2 weeks straight, that it didn't make it feel as painful in the moment when she was really gone. And I don't know if it's going to make me sound like a bad person or I'm heartless, but I don't know. It's kind of like I already kind of felt like she was gone when we were told she had cancer. You know what I mean? And now it's in the moment when she was gone, I was sad, but at the same time, I was feeling like at least she was around us in her last few weeks. So I was pretty much going to school, going to the store, or whatever, for whatever reason, that taking care of my family, and then hanging out with her. That's all I did the last couple weeks. And I miss her a lot. But that got me thinking, why in that moment was it so much easier on my heart to let her go? And I think it's because, like I said, I knew she was, the clock was ticking, and I guess spending that extra time with her made it helped me cope with it a little bit. Whereas, I've gotten calls where, someone's like, "Oh, your uncle died, he fell down the stairs and he died in a fall." It's very like traditional older man way to die, which is weird. That was very shocking to me. And throughout the entire, next 3 or 4 days of up to the funeral and whatever, the services, the wakes, I was crying constantly. And you can argue it's a dog versus a person, and sure, but it's a dog that's been around my house for over a decade. Versus, how often I see my uncle. So I think there's something to be said about knowing something's going to end makes it easier to cope with than feeling like something's taken out of your hands so quickly. The whole reason I started this thing is because I was like, I was in a car accident, and I was like, who knows how much time I have left? It can be taken away from me anytime. And, to be honest, once I die, I don't think I'm going to care. But in the moment, I'm thinking, you know, when because I am alive, I'm like, wow, I really should do stuff that makes me happy. I should do what matters to me because it could all be taken away. But at the same time, I know, like, you know, we should all accept. I'm sorry this is so morbid, by the way. My first two videos are about people about dying. That's crazy. I promise I had a better, you know, more fun idea. Uh, we're all gonna have to accept we're gonna die one day, and I think some accept it better than others. Some think it's, oh, let me work hard now so I can enjoy my life, versus people like, let me uh have fun now while I'm young and then deal with being old later. And I guess both are within their reason to believe what they want to do. I always find myself flip-flopping. I've more stand on the side of working hard now and, you know, enjoying retirement when I can. But sometimes, you know, I get that feeling like I wish I could do something a little more freeing, but the financial cost freaks me out. Anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you know something's gonna end and you have time to make the most of it, I think you should. Whether that's school, hanging out with family, hanging out with friends, any project maybe. I don't even know where else this would apply. I think school is the best thing you can apply it to. Like, in high school, you know, things don't really matter as much. Like, you need to do okay or well in high school to set yourself up. Don't get me wrong. But there's a lot to high school about just being a kid, you know, and enjoying that. Versus, because like I said, it could be taken away any second. So I guess the moral of the story is, enjoy stuff. I don't even know what the moral of the story. I guess the moral of the story is there is a difference between losing someone and knowing they're gonna be gone soon. You know, it's sad in both instances, but at the same time, you gotta understand. You can either be robbed of that, or if you know it's gonna end, make the best of it. It's kind of like, you know, the Super Bowl just happened. It's like how Drake met, you know, my brother was like, why is he even trying to score? It's like, who knows if he's ever going to be in the Super Bowl again? You know, it's might as well play it out. You know, throw some deep bombs, see what happens. You know, obviously he got picked off a couple times, but the game was already lost at that point. So I don't know. I'm not gonna act like I have all the answers. I just thought it was an interesting little topic to talk about. Anyway, appreciate you guys for watching, listening. Good luck and God bless, and peace.